So please have your index page open for your striped umbrella. Make sure on the far right-hand side, the striped umbrella is your current site that you are working on. And then we are going to put our cursor right after that last paragraph that ends, "You won't want to go home." Okay, and then we're going to hit enter. And we're going to type some text on our index page. We're going to type in the striped umbrella. Now, if I hit enter, what's going to happen? What is my spacing going to be? It's going to double space, right? But I physically want to put in an address. I don't have like blank lines between them. And when we did our HTML code, we would put in a P and give us the break between it, or give us the blank line between it. And if we wanted to go on the next line, do you remember what that tag was? Instead of P, we would use BR. So in Dreamweaver, we're not going to type in our code, but our keyboard shortcut for that would be a Shift Enter. So if I do a Shift Enter, it puts me directly below that, and I can then type in the address of 25 Beachside Drive, and then I would do another Shift Enter, and we know that they're in Fort Eugene, Florida, and a zip code of 33775. One more Shift Enter would give you your phone number of 555-594-9458. So we are adding this on our index page. Why is it important for us to put our address on there? Put our address on the very first page because if someone opens up the page and they want to know the physical location of the business, that's going to go through and give us that information. So we added our address, and then we also want to have our contact number, which is going to be our phone number, so if somebody wants to view that, we can go ahead and do that. You need to be that far. Okay. So Shift Enter is going to give us our line break versus Enter is going to give us our P. So let's go ahead and set our font family for that. You will notice down here in my Properties panel, it does have, it says its class is body text. Right here it's formatted as paragraph. But if I go through and select my text here, I can go through and do some formatting of it, and I'm going to go ahead and set that to italics. I'm going to go into split mode here so I can see on the left-hand side is going to be my code. The right-hand side is going to be my WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And you will notice, because I have text highlighted on the right-hand side, it'll also be highlighted on my code side, because sometimes when you look at code, you know, it's hard to jump to that right spot. So by keeping it highlighted, you'll see exactly where you're at. And you will see right here that the tag that they have is the EM tag in order for that to be italicized. Let's go ahead and save that page. I'm going to put mine back just to design mode. And we are going to go ahead and open up right now, File Open. You're going to find DW2 on the network. And because we're opening up a page outside of a defined site, and we're going to save it back under our site, that's why we can go to File Open this way. If you already have your site defined over here on the right-hand side, it's important to open up the page. You only click right within here. I clicked on the wrong button, so now I'm stuck in spinny mode. So you're going to find DW2-1, and when you go to open that, it's going to go ahead and open up, and you're going to save that. Oh, it should ask you, sorry, back up. You should save it as spot.html, back under your network. Sorry about that. So I'm finding it under SHS, Classes, Grasso, Web Design. I know you already found it, but just in case. DW1, and then we're going to go here, and it's going to be DW2-1 that you're opening up. And when I go to do a file, save as, the important thing is I need to save this document back under my account, under the striped umbrella folder. And this is going to be saved as SPA. And because I already have SPA, a blank one there, I'm just going to select SPA and go ahead and click on Save. And when I do that, it's going to say the file you selected already exists. Would you like to overwrite it? I'm going to say yes. And then it says Update Link. It's really important that you say no. Okay. Now, why did the banner work for us, but the other one didn't?
Because we saved the top one.
Because the top image is already under this Assets folder. And when we made that Assets folder, when we defined our site, we told it that no matter what, all of our images are going to be in that spot. So this, because we saved it within our site, it looked there and said, hey, that picture's there, it's already good. But now we have a problem because this one's not there, okay? So now what I do is I need to select that image, so I have it selected down here in my Properties panel is changed for what I'm going to do for images. And then I'm going to click on the Browse for File. And then I have to go back where? To that shared drive, correct. And I'm going to go through, and because we defined our site and said this is my default images location, it should be the C-SPA logo. When we went through and found it, it'll automatically put it back into that Assets folder. Sometimes it takes a second. It looks like it didn't work, but it does work. And then on the right-hand side under my Assets folder, you can see now that I have two images. I have the C-SPA logo and I have the SU banner. So that's why both of those images are working there. You went through and did that a lot when you did your Trip Smart and your Blooms and Bulbs and your Caroline's Creations. But again, just a reminder of how you go through and do that. Now yesterday when I talked about one of the features of Dreamweaver is the fact that we can import some text. So we're going to import text. Remember, we have one person who's going to be writing text. We're going to be going through and taking their text and putting it in, and they're going to type it up as a Word document for us. So what we're going to do to get that is we're going to click, we're going to make sure that we have our insertion point to the right of the C-SPA logo, because if your cursor is not in the right spot, it'll insert text wherever your cursor is. So can you see where my blinking cursor is? Make sure your blinking cursor is in that same location. And we're going to click on File. Then we're going to import a Word document. Now, we have to find that Word document. Where do you think it is? Same spot on the network, under the shared drive, because that's where we have all of our documents. And it should be this SPA document. So under Chapter 2, there'll be a SPA document. And because we told Dreamweaver that we're going to be going through and inserting a Word document, it is only showing us files that have a Word document. So I'm going to select SPA and I'm going to click on Open. I just did this in class. We just opened up the page and saved it in class. So you can do all of this. It doesn't matter if you weren't here. You can open up the page and save it. So go ahead and find it and save as. Okay. So what we did is we went through and we inserted a whole bunch of text. We didn't have to open up Word. We had a little bit of a glitch because all of you were opening the Word document at exactly the same time, but if you hit retry, it would go through. So we probably won't have that happen again because not all of you are going to be clicking on that file at exactly the same moment. So one of the things that happens, though, is when I look at this, there is a whole bunch of extra code that comes in, and the code does not come in real clean. So what we need to do is we have to go under Commands, and then under Commands, we're going to clean up Word HTML. And when you click on Clean Up Word HTML, you're going to get this pop-up menu, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to clean up? It says Clean Up Word HTML from Word 2000 and newer, and you have remove word-specific markup, CSS, clean up font tags, fix invalid nested tags, apply source formatting, and show log upon completion. So, yes, we wanted to do all of that. You're just going to click on OK. And it went through on this one. There wasn't a ton. It said there was just one empty paragraph that was removed. So it goes through and looks at your tags to make sure if you're opening and you're closing that something funky didn't come across. So anytime you're going to insert text, again, you're going to go to File, and you're going to import a Word document. Immediately after you import that Word document, you just want to clean up the Word HTML. It takes out the extra yuckies. So let's go through, and we're going to use our headings. Remember, what is the biggest heading number? Right? And then from there, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number, the bigger the number, the smaller it would be. So let's go through and select the CSPA services, and we're going to set that to heading 2. And you can go ahead and do that right here under Formatting. So I have the CSPA services selected, and then I'm going to set it to heading 2. I'm going to select massages, facials, and body treatment, and I'm going to set that to heading 4. So that should be, it doesn't really change the size, but it changes the bold and how it was treated. If I choose my code view, you can see right here, it went through and set in my H4 and my H2 tag within there. And again, that's a little bit easier than going into your coding and doing an H1 and then an ending H1 just by going through and selecting. One of the things that I find that students get real accustomed to is your red wavy line. What do I mean by red wavy line? If it's spelled wrong. Dreamweaver does not have a red wavy line. We do have a spell check feature, though. You just have to remember to actually engage it and do that. And I do find sometimes in Google Docs, some of my words don't have the red wavy line under it, too, so I'm trying to get in the habit of making sure I use my spell check. Okay? So to find your spell check, you're going to go to Commands, and then you find your check spelling. You will notice there's a keyboard shortcut for that, and that is Shift F7, if you ever remember that. You can check your spelling on this page, and we do have an error, don't we? Oh, wait. I had something highlighted. So which one do we want there? The second one, right? Because notice it even says, hey, this is the end of the paragraph, so we should have a period at the end of it and includes that. So we're going to make sure we choose the second one, and then you can go ahead and then click on Change. And then click on OK. Now this page isn't super awesome yet, but it's going to get there. One of the things we're going to take a look at is going to be adding some links to our pages to get things to work together. We'll work on some color there. You'll notice that our SPA page has to be saved yet because it has that asterisk after HTML. Now, I'm going to show you a cool feature. I just closed that DW2-1 because we don't need it anymore. I'm going to go through and put a space on this document and take it off. You'll notice how both my index.html and spa.html have an asterisk. In Dreamweaver, if you had 7 pages open or 2 pages or 15 pages, I can really go to File and Save All, and it saves all of my pages at once, and those asterisks go away. I find that really helpful when I'm going through. It's the end of the hour. Oh, my God, I got to get off. I got to go someplace else. You don't have to click on each one and do Save. A File Save All will allow you to work there. Always got to remember, though, we have to work on our page when our site is defined. If you are opening up a TripSmart page when you're in Striped Umbrella, you will screw up your web page. Things will not work correctly. Always make sure you have your site defined open on the right-hand side, and if you switch to another site, I would close those pages and only work on one site at a time, just kind of like how we're doing right now. So we're going to add some links to our index page. So I'm going to switch back to our index page. You will notice that we have a start of a menu bar there. We have About Us, Spa, and Cafe. It's going to be the start of a menu bar. And again, we don't have fancy buttons yet. We're going to stick just with straight text. Okay. We're going to go through and we're actually going to add some other things. So I want to put a home before that. So I'm going to do home hyphen about us hyphen spa hyphen cafe hyphen. The last one I'm going to add is going to be activities. Do you remember in HTML we went through and we put in HRs? What does HR stand for? Ooh, a little bit of drama. Does anyone remember? I backspaced on the E and then typed it in. Yep. Does anyone remember what our tag HR is? Horizontal rule. You were the first one. Yellow Laffy Taffy. Horizontal rule. And what does a horizontal rule do on our page? Yeah, it just kind of gives a break and gives your eye. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a horizontal rule between our menu bar and our main text. Okay? So where our cursor is matters when we insert our HR. So my cursor is right now flashing before the W in welcome. So please make sure your cursor is right before the W in welcome. And then over here on our insert toolbar, I'm on the common area, and then you will find right here is horizontal rule. So does everyone find where I'm at over here on the right-hand side? Yep. Horizontal rule, and I'm going to click that, and shazam wham, there's your HR. Shazam wham, that's fun. Okay, now stay with me on this. Everyone's got their HR on there. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to link. Okay? And again, you have to be within your sites that's defined in order for this to work. There's a long way and a short way, so I'll let you decide which way either one of them work. So what we need to do is we need to make home link to which one of these pages, do you think? Index. About us? The About Us page? So do you notice that our menu bar matches to some of our words that we have defined on our site? So don't do it yet, because I want to show you a couple different ways, and you can decide which way you want to do it. So I have to highlight the word. With the word highlighted down here in my properties panel, this section right here is where I get to set if this is going to link. I can do an internal link or an external link. An internal link is a link to a page that we are making. An external link would be like, I'm taking you to google.com. So it would be a page outside of the site that you are making. We've done that before. An internal link would just be the name of the page. An external link, you have to have the whole HTTPS. And it's the same thing when you're working within Dreamweaver. If you're linking to an external page, you have to have the whole URL. You can't just type in www.google.com. I find when I need to put in that whole long external URL, I would actually open it up in a browser, copy and paste to make sure I didn't misspell anything. So with home selected, down here on the link, I have options here. I'm going to click on first this browse for file. You don't have to do it, watch yet. I'm going to give you a couple options. And when I click on browse for file, because I'm in my defined site, it says, hey, I bet you want to link to a page you've already made. So then I would just go through and click on About Us. That's not too bad. I can do the same thing for About Us, and I got to make sure I highlight the whole entire word. But here's the other option, and this one I think is just even easier than that, and that's not too difficult. Right here is this little circle, and it's called Point to File. All I need to do is I'm going to click on Point to File, and then I can actually go right over here and point to this page right there, and I don't have to wait for a pop-up menu to come up. So I prefer to click on Point to File because I just think it's a little bit faster. So I click and hold down, and then it links to, oop, I did the wrong one. I'm supposed to go to About Us.
Is that what you did for the first one?
Maybe. I bet you I did link the wrong one, didn't I? I did. Home is supposed to go to Index. I chose the wrong one. Thank you, Reed. About Us should go to About Us. Spa should go to Spa. Cafe. And Activities. So it doesn't matter if you choose opening up the folder or Point to File, but those are both options. And again, the Point to File, you got to click and hold down and point to those images or those ideas. And then you will notice all of my words are blue. Why? Because they're links. And would you agree when you're on a web page and you see text that is blue and underlined, that tells you what? It's a link. So that is something that we know by default. Can we change the color of links? We can. Any idea where? Somewhere in Dreamweaver. Yes, we were there yesterday. Remember, we went and changed our page properties. You can actually change the background color. You can change your link colors there. But here's the thing. Changing it under your page properties is okay, but you have to do that on every single page. Ideally, where's the best spot to set your link colors? CSS, right? And link to it. We would do an external cascading style sheet, link to it, and then if you set it in one spot, it would do your whole entire site. But just to give you a heads up, so we can see here that when we linked them, they set them to blue and they underlined them because that is what people expect, which is also another reason why when we were working through and doing some changes to our fonts, you'll notice there's not an option to underline. We have bold, we have italics, but if you think of Word and you think of Google Docs, the next one would be underlined. But we don't underline things on the web because they think they are links. So if it really is a link, then we would truly just go through and link it. So the other thing we want to do is we want to add a contact email link. So we're going to go right here after the phone number, and then let's do a Shift-Enter. And a Shift-Enter again gives us our line break. We're going to type in the word Club Manager. And what we want to do is we want to set this as a link to email the Club Manager. Oftentimes, they don't go through and put the whole email address on there. Typically, what happens is they know if it's an email link, if you click on it, what happens on your device. It usually opens up your default email program. Would you agree? Like if you were on your phone and you clicked on a link, it would like open it up in Gmail or wherever you do your email on your device. So we're going to go through and do that. So we're going to say, basically, if people are on this page, and we see that we have the Club Manager here and they want to contact them, we're going to set this as an email link. So to do an email link, it's very easy, but you have to remember, in order for it to know that it's email, we have to type before it mail to as one word, M-A-I-L-T-O followed by a colon, and then you would put in the email address of who it should go to. So I'm really going to highlight Club Manager here. And then here in the link on my properties panel, I'm going to type in the word mail, M-I-A-L-T-O, colon, and then the email address. And the email address for our manager is manager@stripedumbrella.com. Then I would hit enter, and then you will notice now Club Manager is now a link. So we have done internal links and an email link. So when we go through to look at that, over here under my Files panel, I also have my Assets panel, and I want you to click on your Assets panel. And there are a whole series of different things that we can see, but what I want you to do is I want you to click on the third option, which is a URL. And if I click there, whose signature is that? Tim, thank you. Nothing's there yet, right? So we're going to click on the very bottom, and this one's really teeny tiny right there. Do you see this little circle with the arrow? Click right there. Then what happens? We have a link. And this spot right here, this will tell you all of your external links off of your page. So if you're wondering, hey, are these pages good? What am I linking to? Do I have to double check? When I click under my Assets panel and I go to my third option here, which is links, I can hit refresh down here in the bottom because it didn't show up yet. This is going to show me all of my external links off of this page. Hit refresh. Click on Club Manager. Click right here. One word, no space. Oops. Yep, and then you have 2 A's in Manager. And now hit refresh. Okay. So yep, lower that little teeny. It's that little circle. Oh, that's because you can't see all of it. You are, click right there. It's not docked. So grab that and like drag it. So, there, now let go. Now you can expand. And now you should see it. Got it? Couple things that, we had a couple questions that I helped on. If you didn't have the link set correctly, you saw it will still make a blue link. So you think it's working, but this is the way you can check to see it is. If you put a space between the L and the 2, that won't work. And then we had somebody that had undocked their Files and Assets panel so they couldn't see the refresh on the bottom. Everyone to where they need to be at this point? Any problems up to here? We have internal links. We have an external link for mail. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to check the history to see what is going on. It records all of our editing and formatting tasks in the order in which you completed them, but it's only going to be open for today. So if I close it and open it up tomorrow, my history panel is not going to show me tomorrow what I did today. So it just kind of shows you that section today. So to do that, I can go ahead and click on Window, and then open up my history panel. And this really shows me everything I did on this page. If I close this page and open it back up, do you think that would still be there? No, it's only for the current setting. So if you close it and reopen it, it won't be there. Was everyone able to see their history for their page? Now, if I wanted this panel to be docked, I would click and I would drag this over here, and it would fit in there under history. Do you see where I kind of docked it in there? If I didn't want it to appear anymore, I can go under Window and take that check mark off on history, and then it went away. Does that make sense? We're going to select our horizontal rule. Right now, this horizontal rule is going to automatically go the whole width of our page. We only want to set that to a specific number. I want you to do one thing. I want you to go under Window, History, and we're going to clear our history. And you can do that by right-clicking and clear history, so everything is gone, and it's going to free up some memory, so nothing is there. Just going to put this off to the side a little bit. I'm going to select my HR right now, so nothing's in my history. I'm going to select my HR, and then you will notice on the very bottom for my Properties panel, I'm going to set my width to 900 pixels. And then you can see right here in my History panel, it says Set Width to 900. I'm also going to set the alignment for my HR. Right now it's set to default, which is center. I'm going to set that to left. So in my History panel right now, I see that I set my width to 900 and my alignment to left. But you know what? Let's check this out. Okay, I still have my HR selected. Let's set it to the width to 80. And then let's set it to center. See how that looks. What do you think? Which one looked better?
First one.
First one. So watch this. Don't undo. Don't undo it. You can, in your History panel, drag up and go back to that. To this little bar on the slider. So I can then go back to what I wanted to. I don't have to go back and redo that. So if you did something you're like, maybe not, you can use your History panel to go ahead and do that. Okay? So then I just closed my History panel. So I just wanted to show you another way that you can use your History panel besides seeing things. If you did something and you wanted to undo it, but it was a lot of work to do what you did, just slide your panel up. You obviously can't pick and choose what you want to undo, but you can then do that option. Make sure your HR is selected right now. And we're going to go to Code. And you'll notice right here, because my HR was selected, my horizontal rule, my code is selected right here as well. Right here next to my address, I have this button right here, which is called your Live Options View. Do you find that button for yourself? Oh, that's not the right one. Hang on. Oh, sorry, I got it now. I want to go to Window and Code Inspector. That's what I'm looking for. When I go to Window and Code Inspector, I have an option right here to make sure that my text is word wrapped or not word wrapped. So if you don't use word wrap, everything extends over to the right and you got to scroll a lot. But if you do use word wrap in your Code Inspector, it goes down. And then the other thing you will notice is when I take a look at this line of paragraph text here, like 29 and 30, they consider this one line of code. And why is it one line of code? Because here's my beginning tag, And here's my ending tag. So this really is one line of code included in there. So that is why you'll see between 29 and 30 and 30 and 31, there's a bigger gap between it. So working within your word wrap feature will also make it a little bit easier. The other thing we'll do right here within your HR, let's change it from 900 to 950. And then I changed my index back here outside of my code inspector. I changed this back to design view. And you will see, because I set my HR from, I'll show you again the difference. 900 is what it was originally. And then I set it to 950. Anything I do in Code Inspector will automatically match up. You'll see that it's the same width as my banner, which is a good thing. Make sure you do a save all. And we'll see you tomorrow.
The following students to the main office, please. Courtney Ranamo, Hannah Levesser, Jordan Hensel. Stay row here to the main office, please. I have one announcement. JV1 baseball will play at the National